Welcome back, everybody. I'm back for another installment of Let's Talk Car no Kyokai with J Chip from the J Chip Show. He's back. Hey, J Chip, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
We're going to talk about a pretty cool movie that came out in 2007, and it's part two of the Car no Kyokai film series. It takes place 3 years prior to movie one, and this one is called Car no Kyokai, depending on where you look, Murder Speculation, or I prefer A Study in Murder Part 1. And this ties into like the seventh film, which is A Study in Murder Part 2. So this is going to set some events that are going to matter heavily later on in the show. And in comparison to the first film, this one, different director, same awesome musical composer, Yuki Kajira. Um, a lot of the same tone, but I kind of liked the first film better on its face value. Would you say you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, it's just that like the first film. I mean, while there was like a lot of talking and stuff, like it had the the cool aspect of the mystery of what was going on with the girls who were committing suicide. And Shiki goes and solves the case. She gets into the mystery mobile and drives over and finds out that it's that guy, and he's like, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids and your dumb Shiki. And so they do that in the first film, and then it's kind of resolved, but then you kind of want some more. You want some more cool mysteries like that, and this doesn't provide that. This is a
Yeah,
prequel story about like how Shiki met Mikia, which is really cool, but it's also kind of boring at times. And then when it's not trying to be boring, it's trying to be like super edge lordy. And I think because it's like there's so Shiki apparently has like I'm not going to consider this a crazy spoiler, but apparently there's two personalities within Shiki. And honestly, if people were probably watching this, I'm assuming they might have seen the first movie already, so they know a little bit about Kara no Kyokai. But
yeah,
so there's two personalities within Shiki, and they're both the same name. They help you in the subtitles when they're referring to one another because one of them is all caps Shiki, and then the other one is normal, like spelled out Shiki. And I think they pronounce it a little differently, but I don't speak Japanese enough to really get it. Um, so there's two Shikis, and one of them is seems like a crazy fucking murderer, and then the other one is this girl who knows that the other Shiki exists, but just kind of wants to live her life wearing her kimono and trying to impress her dad. Um,
yeah.
uh, so yeah, what were your expectations going into this one?
I thought it was going to be a lot like the first one, and I'm not going to lie, I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. It's, we were talking about it last night, but like, I think it's the more forgettable one.
Yeah, if you had definitely more forgettable of the two. Just
Yeah,
and like it's not definitely not a bad film. I think it's again. This is. I feel like this is going to be like. I'm going to say this in every one of these like 10 videos. Gorgeous to look at. Visually really appealing. All the aesthetics are great. The music is awesome. Yuki Kajira knocked it out of the park again. And the gore. The one thing that this movie series does so well, I think, is the blood.
yeah,
Like the blood looks so good. Like and there's a lot of it. People get their heads cut off and they bleed out like sprinklers.
yeah.
Um,
Think of the another umbrella scene, but
yeah, yeah,
10 times better.
yeah. And so yeah, it's a cool story about how Mikia pretty much just walked up to Shiki one day and started talking to her because she was kind of this weird girl in the class that wore a kimono and didn't talk to anybody. And you find out why she's like that. It's this weird personality thing. She also seems to have this weird family dynamic with, like, the dad is apparently some, like, big shot, and he has, like, his own, like friggin' like shogun castle house, like in the middle of this bamboo forest. And they have like servants. Like Shiki has her own like servant guy, and the like there's I don't. It's almost like a mafia boss kind of deal. That's the vibe I got. I don't know if you thought kind of the same thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's it adds a little mystery to it. Like they don't really explain what it is. That just that she comes apparently from some powerful family, and she has a brother. Apparently, I don't think you see him, but he's mentioned in Shiki trains in sword play. I don't know if that would be the term. Swordsmanship, swordswomanship. Uh, she can fight with a sword, and she's pretty strong, but there's an issue that she does not view herself as the heir to like whatever power her family possesses because she has a brother. But I guess he's like a fuckboy, like he's like not worthy of the throne, and the servant guy knows this, and he mentions it to her, and I think she knows that that's true, but she's like, she's still butthurt about it. She's not as tsundere in this one yet. Like she's still like tsundere. She's in like her Charmander state of tsundere. She's gonna turn into Charmeleon tsundere, and then she's gonna go full on Taiga from Toradora. Pretty later. But yeah. What do you think is going on with like the family?
I have at this point it doesn't. I don't really know. I think we're probably gonna find out later.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they showed the brother or something, or told us a little bit more. I
Maybe
feel like
her brother is the Charizard.
Yeah, he's Charizard. He actually is a Charizard. I feel like this movie does one thing that kind of pisses me off about some shows where it's designed to just raise questions.
Yeah.
And I hate that in shows, and I guess I kind of get the point, but and even like to this film's conclusion, you don't get a ton of answers. Like there's a lot of dialogue about Shiki and the other Shiki, and how they both know that each other exist, and they can take over the body at like different times, and they have kind of different motives for existing, but they're kind of they realize that each other exist. So like it seems as though when Shiki, the kind Shiki, is uncomfortable talking in a situation, the aggressive Shiki will take over and talk in the conversation and stuff.
Yeah.
And she does that with Mikia, and she's a lot more expressive and actually talks about stuff. But one of the Shikis is definitely murdering some folks. And I think part of the wonder is because in a lot of these scenes where she's apparently killing people, she isn't talking. So you don't necessarily know which Shiki it could be, because they can take over, they're interchangeable, right? And then she doesn't speak. Yeah. So I think it's sort of like a, I don't want to say a bait and switch, but like I feel like it's almost like an illusion that they're trying to initially tell you early on that like she's got two personalities, this one's more outgoing, ergo wouldn't this one be the killer? Which it may or may not be. I'm not going to reveal it here or delve into that too much here, but it is, I think if there's anything that interests me a ton in this film, it was that, because once I found out that there's two Shikis, I thought of the early scenes where she's killing people, and yeah, she's not behaving like her normal calm self, but she's also not as lively as she is when she's the other Shiki. That's gonna get really confusing for people that haven't seen this. I'm just saying Shiki a million times.
Yeah.
If you see if you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about. Because when she's killing people, she's not talking a lot and she's not as lively, but she's very slow with her movements, and she keeps like putting she puts the blood on her lips for like lipstick. She does like some fucked up stuff. Oh, another good thing to know is that Mikia's dad is the like he's in the police department who's investigating the murders.
Yeah.
And he comes home every night and they eat oranges and they and they talk about the crimes because cops just do that. And like the murderer, who we know is Shiki and they don't know is her, is fucking up these bodies like hardcore. Like she's like leaving weird like imprints on them, and she's tearing off like their hands and feet, and she's sewing them back on like the wrong parts and shit. And it's like really badass fucked up stuff. But yeah, I mean, and that part of it's cool. I mean, it might just be kind of gory stuff for the sake of being gory stuff in an otherwise kind of boring film. But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it was kind of interesting. It reminded me of. Have you seen Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex?
No, I have. Well, Standalone Complex, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it, but it was a long time ago.
Okay. This is going to be a spoiler to one of the episodes. It's one of the standalone episodes, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But in Standalone Complex, there is an enemy or an antagonist for like one of the episodes that he kills people in this brutal fucking way. Because everybody's cybernetic, he hacks into his victims' eyes and makes them see what he sees. So they literally have to die, and they're watching themselves get killed. And he skins them, I think. So he watches them, like, they have to watch themselves, and they have no say in the matter, get skinned alive. And it's like, when I first saw that, I was like, holy shit. And the murders in this show kind of made me do a similar thing. And we don't really know anything about the people that are getting murdered. They're just kind of like bodies. Like, they're not even like Friday the 13th, like Crystal Lake campers, where like you want them to die. They're just body. They're literally no even like voice, nothing. Corpses. And I mean, I guess there's something to be said for that, but I don't know. I don't know if I would like it any better if they were people that I would want to get killed on the screen. But yeah, a lot of cool visual effects in this. A lot of nice rainfall, although not as good as Makoto Shinkai rainfall in my opinion. But this did come out in 2007. Yeah, what did you think what did you like most about this? What about part 2?
Probably the music and the animation.
Yep. That might be a recurring theme with these. I'm going to agree.
Yeah. Like it's not bad, but compared to the first one, it's really forgettable, as I said before. Mm-hmm. And out of all of them, I probably rewatched this one the least.
Yeah. I would agree with you 100%.
But I appreciate what they were doing. Like it is important to the film,
yeah.
And it's not like horrifically bad or anything like that. It's not Handshakers.
It's not Handshakers, thankfully. I do like the idea of the prequel story, even though generally, and I've thought about doing a video about this in the future. I'm weird as hell. But like, so I typically dislike stuff that isn't on like a main timeline, and that probably makes no sense. But I generally don't like prequels. I generally don't even like sequels for the most part, unless it's like, I especially hate it if it's like a side story. Like that never interests me. Like whenever there's like
Yeah.
like whenever you have like a show and then they make like an OVA about like a side character, like I have no interest in that. Like to me, if it wasn't good enough to be in the final product, then I don't want to see it. Unless, I mean, I guess there's exceptions. Like I'll watch the Inuyasha movies. Like like shonen movies fall into this category. Like Naruto movies. I've seen some of those and they're moderately entertaining, but that's all it really is just a long episode.
Yeah.
And this isn't that. It's a cool prequel kind of thing. Like I kind of wondered when I talked about the first movie, I wondered about Mikia and Shiki's relationship, and you could tell from the get-go that this guy loves this girl, and he doesn't. I don't even think he knows why. He's just like really genuinely interested in her, and nobody like even like acknowledges that she exists. Besides that one guy that, if that there's one other side character that that Miki is friends with that calls Shiki scary, and Miki is like, no, she's not scary, she's just like misunderstood, and then if that guy didn't like say that she was scary, I would almost argue that maybe she doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
Like maybe she's a ghost or something. But that guy kind of killed that theory, I guess, because literally nobody like acknowledges her besides like her family and Mikia, and then in the first film, Toko. But we already know that there's some supernatural shit going on with that. So, but yeah, overall, a pretty good film. A good. I would not say like. I would not drop the series after this at all. I think it's still good. I want to watch part 3. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not bad. There's a lot of good things. There's more good to this movie than bad. It's just
Meh.
a bit boring.
Yeah. It just and I also am assuming it's going to get a lot better. So it's kind of like, all right, let's get to the better stuff. But it's only 50 minutes long or something. Or it's an hour.
It's an hour long.
Yeah, an hour.
So it's not too longer from the first one, I guess.
It's just like 2 episodes of a meh anime.
Yeah, it's just like 10 minutes more.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention that before each of these, they have like these nice, funny little puppetry segments of Shiki and Mikia in a movie theater, because originally these aired in Japanese movie theaters. And it's always like anti-texting ads or like anti-being on your phone stuff. And it'll be like Shiki stabbing the phone. I don't know. I just find it really funny. So I would recommend Car no Kyokai 2, The Electric Boogaloo, also known as Car no Kyokai 2, A Study in Murder Part 1. Or
also known as Garden of Sinners.
Or also known as Garden of Sinners, also known as Miasma, also known as Gyre Media, also known as J-Chip.
Also known as Justin Chipman Show.
If you guys have seen Car no Kyokai 2, or even the whole series, try to avoid spoilers and let me know down below what you thought of this specific film. Are we really stupid and did we miss a whole lot? Because I'm sure we did, but we don't care.
Maybe we just don't understand.
We don't understand. We don't understand the blood lipstick.
Which that's really unhygienic, but
yes, which J-Chip pointed out that you might get a disease from that, but Shiki apparently doesn't care.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that, like in real life.
You shouldn't be doing that. If you start doing that, you're gonna have a bad time. But yeah, I would recommend this. I also recommend everybody checks out the J-Chip Show. He has a great channel himself where he does a whole bunch of anime stuff, and everybody should also check out our podcast live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on this channel, The Sugoi Boys. It also features Art of Anime, who also has a very awesome channel. He's a really cool dude. And
maybe he'll pop in on one of these episodes.
That'd be nice. Art, if you're listening, we expect you here, and we demand it, actually.
Yeah, we also demand. Yeah,
We demand, yeah. You heard it here,
we do.
folks. Um, Also, if you have it in your hearts, check out our Patreons and donate to whoever you think is coolest.
Yeah,
Or all of us. Give us all 30 cents. 33.3 cents, and that's $1. So there you go.
yeah. Just do it that way.
Because that's something you could definitely do. Uh, all right. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, J Chip, from coming by, and we will see you guys when we talk about Kara no Kyokai, or Garden of Sinners 3, Remaining Sense of Pain. Alright, see you guys next time.